A new report finds James Comey violated FBI policies. The Justice Department's Inspector General condemned the former FBI chief for sharing memos about his private conversations with President Trump. And in one of those memos, Comey wrote the president expected loyalty. Comey's firing led to the appointment of a special counsel, Robert Mueller. President Trump weighed in, tweeting, Comey should be ashamed of himself. Now, for more on this, let's bring in CBS News White House correspondent Paula Reid. Paula, you've been following this story very closely. What are some of the biggest takeaways from this?
Omar, the biggest takeaway is that the Inspector General found that the former FBI director did not mishandle classified information. And because they only found that he violated procedures and norms, he will not be prosecuted by the Justice Department. That's some good news for him. But what should not be lost in all of this is how significant it is for the leader of the FBI to violate policy. And the Inspector General takes a lot of time in this report to detail just how significant this is. He points out that if the rank and file folks start ignoring policy, sharing sensitive information when they deem it appropriate, the FBI would not actually be able to function. They called Comey out as essentially a hypocrite. They quote him as having told the president in their conversations how important it is that sensitive information not be leaked to the media so that the FBI can go about doing its job properly. And then they note he turned around and leaked information to the press. They also note this isn't the first time they've had to investigate Comey's inability to follow policies and procedures. They point to the fact that they had previously investigated him and previously criticized the way he handled the Clinton email investigation. The fact that at the end of that, Omar, as you may remember, he came out and held a press conference, and that's just not how those cases are handled. So even though he was cleared on the question of classified information, the Inspector General really took a moment to make a point about Comey's legacy and the issues he had with telling other people to apply policies as written, but not necessarily following that same advice as he led the FBI.
And also sprinkle in some Twitter jabs being thrown left and right. Now, the IG is also investigating origins of this Russia probe. How's that moving forward?
Yes, the investigations into the Russia investigation continue, and they're moving forward on several tracks. The Inspector General is expected to release another report investigating the origins of the Russia probe. Now, if there is any criminal conduct that is uncovered in that investigation, which will be much broader than just these memos, this will look into the Steele dossier, these allegations of wiretapping, all of it. If the Inspector General uncovers any criminal conduct, he can't prosecute that. But Attorney General William Barr, he has tapped the U.S. Attorney in Connecticut to oversee any criminal prosecutions that arise out of this investigation into the origins of the probe. We know the president has repeatedly called the folks who led this investigation treasonous, suggested that they were politically motivated, and it appears that he has an attorney general who is at least willing to look in to those claims. And this is all, of course, playing out in the months leading up to the 2020 election. And the president says he's going to use a lot of these deep state conspiracy talking points on the campaign trail.
Switching gears here, Paula, President Trump canceled the trip to Poland. He's going to stay and monitor Hurricane Dorian. Do you know what's going to be going on, where he's going to be?
Well, he was supposed to be in Poland, as you just noted, for World War II commemoration ceremonies, but he announced yesterday in the Rose Garden that he's going to send Vice President Mike Pence instead. It's important to note he just got back from the G7. He didn't exactly look enthusiastic to head out on another international trip. He had already cut this short by canceling his trip to Denmark over comments that were made about his suggestion to purchase Greenland. As we understand it, he will be here in this area. He likely will spend some of the time in Camp David, perhaps some of the time here at the White House, monitoring the situation as this hurricane makes landfall.
And finally, Paula, President Trump's personal assistant, Madeleine Westerhout, resigned. Not a familiar name to a lot of people probably outside of Washington. Who exactly was she, and what did she do? Why did she quit?
Well, she's the gatekeeper. She sits right outside the president's office. She has since day one, and yesterday she left because she allegedly shared information, sensitive information about the Oval Office, about the president's family, with reporters who were staying at a hotel. When we cover the president, when he goes to New Jersey or Mar-a-Lago, all the reporters tend to stay in the same hotel. There's a lot of group dinners. Sometimes we get White House officials to join us. And it appears that at one of these dinners, she said a little bit too much, and that breach of trust was enough for her to be ousted from her position. She was expected not to be allowed to return to the White House today.
Wow. A lot to unpack there. Paula Reid, thank you very much.